Have you ever noticed how your legs feel heavier at night, almost as if the blood takes a slower route? How your ankles puff up after sitting, your toes turn cold for no clear reason, or that odd pins and needles sensation appears exactly when you're trying to sleep? Most people brush these off as just age, but they're actually gentle alarms, early signs that circulation has begun to slow quietly in the background. Here's the part almost nobody realizes. Your evening habits influence your blood flow far more than your daytime choices. Some nighttime routines soothe the legs and encourage smooth circulation, while others unknowingly tighten vessels, trap blood around the ankles, and make that heavy, restless feeling even worse. And this is where things get interesting. There is a simple, warm drink, just 1 cup before bed, that naturally opens blood vessels, eases tension in the calves, and encourages a calm, downward flow all the way to the toes while you sleep. But almost everyone uses this ingredient in a way that reduces half of its benefits. The wrong timing, the wrong companion ingredient, even the wrong temperature can completely change how it works. Before I tell you what the drink is, pause for a moment and consider this. What if the nighttime heaviness in your legs isn't a permanent part of aging at all, but a tiny imbalance that can be nudged back into harmony with a 2-minute bedtime ritual? The slow healing of small cuts, the swelling around the ankles, the urge to stretch your legs again and again. These aren't random frustrations. They're signs that the lower body circulation is struggling during the hours when you need it to be at its smoothest. And here's the curiosity most people miss. Your body behaves differently at night. Blood vessels relax. Your heart rate slows. Your legs depend completely on gentle, steady flow instead of movement. That's exactly why drinking the wrong evening beverage, sugary teas, cold drinks, certain herbal blends can stiffen vessels when they should be loosening. But one specific kitchen ingredient does the opposite. It warms. It releases tension. It encourages that quiet, radiant inner heat feeling in the legs that makes sleep easier and circulation smoother. The surprising part, most people have this ingredient at home, but take it at the wrong time of day. Many drink it in the morning, where its nighttime benefits are nearly wasted. Others brew it too strong or too weak, unknowingly overpowering the very compound that helps blood flow. And there's one more twist. When this ingredient is prepared at the right temperature, its effect on circulation nearly doubles. You'll recognize it the moment I say it. But the real secret is how you prepare it tonight. Before I reveal the ingredient inside this cup, there's one thing you absolutely need to understand, because it explains why so many people over 60 struggle with slow blood flow, and why a simple nighttime drink can make such a powerful difference. Circulation doesn't collapse suddenly. It slips little by little. It begins with a hint of morning stiffness in the calves. Then the ankles swell after a bit of standing. Toes cool faster than they used to. Up flight of stairs feels slightly heavier. Most people shrug and blame age. But age alone isn't the culprit. What actually slows blood flow are 3 quiet changes. The blood becomes a little thicker. The vessels tighten from years of stress and nightly dehydration. And the small muscle pumps in the feet and calves weaken. These changes don't scream for attention, they whisper. And most people miss the whispers entirely. The challenge is that nighttime is when the legs are most vulnerable. Once you lie down, gravity steps away. The heart beats softer. The vessels must relax to let blood glide smoothly. If the vessels stay tight, the blood is thicker than ideal. Or the legs cool, too fast circulation drops dramatically. That's when the numbness, tingling, cold toes, cramps, and swelling love to make an appearance. Here's the surprising twist. Many evening habits quietly make this worse. A cold drink tightens vessels. Late night sugary snacks thicken the blood. Some well-meaning herbal teas overstimulate the system. making the legs feel jumpy instead of calm. Meanwhile, the body actually wants to repair itself at night. It tries to deliver nutrients to the feet, oxygen to the muscles, and warmth to the toes. But it can only do that if the vessels are open, the blood stays fluid, and the legs are warm enough to encourage smooth flow. That's where the warm nighttime drink becomes a game changer, but only when it's brewed correctly. This simple cup can gently open the vessels, calm the nerves in the legs, and keep circulation moving while you sleep. It doesn't require effort. It doesn't require exercise. It simply works in the background, like a quiet helper, supporting the lower body through the night. But timing matters more than most people realize. Drink it too early, and the warmth fades before bed. Drink it too late, and it disrupts the body's natural nighttime rhythm. And here's something almost no one knows. Pairing this ingredient with one common sweetener actually thickens the blood instead of thinning it. That one innocent mistake wipes out nearly all of the benefits. In Module 3, I'll finally reveal the ingredient, and once you see how it behaves inside your veins, you'll understand why one properly brewed cup before bed can spark such a strong circulation boost. The ingredient hiding inside this warm nighttime cup is cinnamon. Yes, the same spice most people dust over their oatmeal without realizing it carries one of the most powerful natural effects on circulation. Once cinnamon enters the bloodstream, it acts like a quiet inner heater, encouraging the vessels to loosen, widen, and release the built-up tightness that settles in the lower legs during the day. What makes cinnamon remarkable is the way it helps the blood glide instead of struggle, almost as if it reduces the drag inside your veins. Scientists call it improved vascular elasticity. Most people just say their legs suddenly feel lighter, warmer, and more awake. The real star is cinnamaldehyde, the active compound that gently signals the vessel walls to relax. This means blood can travel farther with less pressure, exactly what people with sluggish circulation are missing at night. The calves respond, the ankles respond, even the toes start to feel more nourished, more alive. And here's the part people usually discover by accident. Cinnamon naturally thins the blood just enough to improve flow without pushing it too far. That's why so many older adults notice fewer nighttime cramps, less pins and needles, and a calmer, quieter feeling in their legs after consistent nightly use. But here's what almost no one realizes. Drinking cinnamon in the morning barely taps into its potential. During the day, your body's already circulating blood simply through movement. At night, though, the body shifts into repair mode, vessels stiffen, circulation slows, and that's when cinnamon does its best work. It keeps the vessels relaxed when they would normally constrict, allowing more oxygen to reach the calf muscles, more nutrients to reach the tiny vessels near the toes, and more warmth to flow into areas that often go cold. But here's a twist most people miss completely. Cinnamon only reaches its full circulation boosting effect when brewed at a precise temperature. Too hot, and the essential oils evaporate before your body can use them. Too cool, and the beneficial compounds never fully release. The sweet spot is a gentle simmer, not boiling, because that's what unlocks the cinnamaldehyde without damaging it. And there's another common mistake: adding regular table sugar. Sugar instantly thickens the blood and cancels out the very effect cinnamon is meant to create. That single habit is why many people claim the drink does nothing. But used correctly, cinnamon is one of nature's most dependable nighttime circulation helpers, warming, loosening, and smoothing the blood's journey all the way down to the feet. Now that you know the ingredient, the real benefits depend on how you prepare it, because what you do next determines whether this drink works quickly or hardly at all. Most people think cinnamon works on its own, but the truth is almost everyone prepares it in a way that destroys half of its circulation boosting power. And that's why so many people try it, feel nothing, and assume it's useless. The transformation doesn't come from the cinnamon itself. It comes from how you prepare it. One tiny change in temperature, timing, or steeping can decide whether your legs feel lighter at night or not at all. So here's how to do it the right way. Start with the water. Heat it until it reaches that soft, trembling stage, the moment right before it boils. This is when cinnamon releases its active oils without burning them. Drop in half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder, or, even better, a small cinnamon stick. Then let it steep for a full 7 minutes. Those 7 minutes are where all the magic happens. The warm water pulls out the compounds that tell your blood vessels to relax and widen. But here's the step almost everyone skips, and it quietly kills the drink's power, covering the cup if you let the steam escape. If you're losing the exact oils, especially cinnamaldehyde, that warm your vessels and support smoother blood flow. Trap the steam, and you trap the benefits. This one little habit makes the drink noticeably stronger. It's almost as if you doubled the dose. Now comes the part hardly anyone knows, the timing. Cinnamon works best when you drink it 40 to 60 minutes before bed. That window is just long enough for your body to absorb the compounds, warm the blood slightly, relax the vessels, and prepare the legs for deeper nighttime circulation. Too early, and the effect fades. It's too late, and your heart rate stays elevated a little longer than you want. But hit that sweet spot, and you actually feel it. Your calves loosen, your toes warm. It's that familiar nighttime tightness melts as your vessels open and your blood moves with less resistance. And there's one more mistake that quietly ruins everything: adding sugar or honey. Honey sounds healthy, but it still thickens the blood and forces vessels to narrow, the exact opposite of what this drink is supposed to do. If you need a hint of sweetness, a tiny touch of stevia is the only option that won't interfere. Avoid drinking it too hot. Scalding water irritates the throat, triggers a minor stress response, and temporarily tightens the vessels. But here's something people never expect. There's a simple second ingredient that almost everyone already has at home. And when added at the right moment, it can double cinnamon's impact, especially for people who get cold feet, nighttime, swelling, or tingling toes. And that's exactly what you'll discover next, before we unlock the second ingredient that amplifies cinnamon's circulation boost. There's something most people never realize about nighttime. It's the one window when your legs try the hardest to repair themselves. Yet, they're also at their most vulnerable. When you fall asleep, your heartbeat slows, your blood pressure dips, and your body shifts into recovery mode. It wants to send warmth into your toes. It wants to wash oxygen through your calves. Wants to clear out the swelling that builds during the day. But that healing only works if the vessels are relaxed. The blood stays smooth, and the legs don't cool down too fast. That's why so many people wake up with stiff ankles, cold toes, or calves that feel strangely tight. It's not aged nighttime circulation struggling to do its job. Cinnamon begins to open the pathways, but to truly help the blood glide instead of crawl. It needs a quiet partner, one that most people have in their kitchen, but almost no one uses properly. That partner is lemon, not the sour punch, not the flavor. The power lies in the citric compounds inside the lemon, which gently thin the blood. It's help dissolve tiny fat deposits along the vessel walls and encourage smoother flow through the legs. But lemon only works when added after the cinnamon tea has cooled slightly. Added to hot, and the vitamin C collapses. The beneficial compounds weaken, and the synergy between cinnamon and lemon breaks before it even reaches the bloodstream. But when added at the right temperature, warm, not steaming, lemon doesn't just support cinnamon, it activates it. Together, they form a nighttime duo that warms the toes faster, reduces swelling more deeply, and helps oxygen reach muscles that often feel starved during sleep. Many people say they notice a difference by the next morning. Lighter legs, fewer cramps, less tension clinging to the calves. Here's a curiosity most people never think about. Lemon also helps the body release excess sodium, quiet troublemaker behind puffy ankles and that heavy-legged feeling after waking. Seniors often think swelling is simply age, but it's usually just blood that didn't circulate smoothly enough through the night. There's one final step that multiplies the effect. After finishing the drink, rest with your feet slightly elevated for a minute or two. Just a few inches makes gravity work in your favor. Yeah. And if your legs tend to get cold at night, placing a warm cloth or gentle heating pad on the calves for a few minutes helps the vessels open even more. This drink is generally safe, though anyone on strong blood thinners should check with a professional. For most people, the cinnamon-lemon combination becomes a quiet nighttime pump warming. It's thinning and softening the blood's path down to the feet. And now we're one step away from the deepest secret of all, a small nighttime habit that locks in everything you've done, keeps circulation smooth even while you're dreaming. Now that you know the drink, the ritual, and the perfect way to blend cinnamon with lemon, the final piece is understanding what unfolds after you begin. Because the biggest mistake people make isn't brewing the drink wrong, it's quitting before the body has a chance to respond. The first night feels subtle. Quiet warmth settles into the calves a little faster than usual, or the ankles feel a touch looser as you lie down. That tiny shift isn't a coincidence, sits your vessels, relaxing just enough for blood to move with less effort. By the second or third night, something new often appears. That familiar nighttime tightness begins to soften, especially around the shins and toes. The legs don't feel as locked, and the restless urge to stretch or reposition over and over every few minutes starts to fade. These are the early signs that the ritual is working, but the most important changes don't shout. They whisper. You wake up and notice your feet aren't icy. You stand and realize your calves don't feel like heavy sandbags. You walk to the bathroom and feel your balance holding steadier under you. Small clues, but deeply meaningful. Here's what most people misunderstand. Circulation doesn't improve in one jump. It improves in layers. First comes warmth, then comfort, then smoother nighttime flow, then reduced swelling, and finally, better nutrient delivery to the lower legs. That's why consistency is everything. 7 nights, that's the true turning point. Around that time, people often notice their socks leave lighter marks. The toes feel more alive in the morning, and that strange nighttime buzzing sensation becomes increasingly rare. And here's the part hardly anyone expects. Better circulation at night changes your day. Morning mobility improves. Standing feels steadier. The legs feel more dependable, almost awake in a way they haven't in years. To lock this in, there's one final nighttime adjustment that multiplies the drink's effect. After you finish the cup, avoid cold drinks, avoid salty snacks, and avoid sitting in a position that squeezes the back of your knees. These small habits may seem harmless, but they quietly restrict the vessels just when you need them open the most. Think of the drink as the spark and your nighttime posture as the fuel. Together, they create a healing environment your legs haven't experienced in a long time. So give your body 7 nights. So 7. Let the layers unfold. Watch the warmth return, the tightness ease, and the legs wake up with more life each morning. The shift won't be dramatic or loud. It'll be gentle, steady, and unmistakable. And once you feel that difference, this simple ritual may become the one thing you look forward to every night.